are ready when you want me to start. Okay. Hey everyone, welcome to Seated with Strangers. This season, we're exploring the topic of unsubscribing from pop culture and social norms. My name is Adwoa, and I'm seated with my girl Whitney and my girl Kwase. On today's episode, we're talking about unsubscribing from celebrities as relationship goals. Yes.
So let's set it off.
Set it off,
So,
sis.
what qualifies someone to be relationship goals or even give relationship advice?
Y'all don't want my answer. Y'all don't
Mine
want
neither. Mine neither. It's not that nice.
No, you go first, Whitney. Go first. No, Whitney, go.
What qualifies someone to be relationship goals? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. There is not a qualification in the streets that makes me want to look at your relationship and say, "Oh, girl, I want that," because I don't want to go through what they had to go through to get to whatever it was that they got to. So, absolutely nothing. And to give me some advice, I need you to have like social worker or like therapist in your occupational title.
Listen here.
That's all I got.
Look, okay, I'm gonna tell y'all from someone who has been married for 24 years.
Turn it.
Listen, there is no such thing as goals. Relationship goals, I'm sorry. The only relationship goals that you should have are the ones for your life, for your relationship. Like, I always feel like, exactly like what you said, Whitney, I always feel like we are putting this undue pressure on relationships outside of our own as if they are the be all and end all. And I'm like, exactly like what you said. You do not know what it took for those two to get to that space and that stage where they are not leaving. It's like, stop. Like, we keep putting people, putting these couples on pedestals, and when they fall, we're like, oh my God, what we gonna do now?
I'm devastated.
Like, what? Like, it's this place where I always say to people, be careful when you allow other people's paradigms to shift you. Just because they haven't been able to do something or go to a certain distance doesn't mean that's the same for you. But we put people in this place and then we're like, oh my God, does that mean it's not going to work for you? No.
Right.
Like, you're built different. Like, I just can't. And then to give me advice, I'm not as harsh as Whitney. But you've got to listen, you have to have legs, there needs to be some mileage. Like, don't be coming out the gate trying to tell me, do me 7 years, do me 10 years, do me 15, do me 25. And listen to me, not where you're sleeping in different rooms. I was
gonna say 10 good years. He do
when,
me 10,
when you've been working on this thing and you still like each other, you still love each other. Give me that.
Yes.
Otherwise, keep it.
Yes.
So I don't believe anymore in relationship goals. I used to be enchanted by that foolishness.
Anymore. That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
I used to be enchanted and I would see things. And then when the ugly truth reared its head, I'm like, wait, this was my goals? Like,
right.
You started putting these like celebrities on these pedestals. Like, oh my God, I want that because you see on TV, but nobody's going to show. Although now that happens with the new social media, nobody's going to show the ugliness that goes on unless your boo is going on live and exposing you like we've seen happen so many times. But in reality, nobody's going to put that up there. Nobody's going to put the times, like you said, where they're sleeping in separate bedrooms, where they're not even in the same household, or they're going to counseling, but there is no such thing as a relationship goals because, like you said, everybody's relationship is different.
Yes.
Like, you can give advice for a person, but you can't give advice for what they should do in the relationship. And that's what I've learned. My friends, my friends have taught me that. Like, I'll listen, you can vent to me, but I'm not going to tell you leave or stay or no. I'm just going to present, well, this is what you presented to me. This is what I feel about what you presented to me. This is an option that you can take or not.
Right. Unless you are in physical harm. I'm not trying to give any advice.
Yeah, I can't tell you that because if I give you advice now and I tell you to leave your significant other and now you don't, now it's going to be weird every time I came around because I'm the one that, and he knows that I'm the one that
Exactly.
told you to leave him. So now I've either affected this relationship, this friendship that we had that had nothing to do
Right.
with him because I told you something.
Right.
So I just don't. I'll
I
listen.
say, you better
And
preach.
listen,
I'll drive with you if you want to bust the windows and all of that. I'm down to ride. You always
She
have
said
somebody
she-
to get in
she
the car
ride.
with you to go.
bust the windows out your car.
But I'm also not going to judge you if you call me the next morning after we done busted those windows and you're like, hi, he's in the house. Okay.
We eating breakfast, girl.
Listen, I'm telling you, like, I'm trying to tell you. I was telling someone the other day, I said, people like, oh, how did you and your husband make it? How are you, 24 years, you're happy, you actually are still in love. I said, because we kept people out of our business.
Yeah.
And we didn't allow people to put unrealistic expectations on us. When me and him got into something, my family, obviously, what we do is we are actually kind of like preachers and stuff. And so we would tell stuff about our life. And people would be like, what? You went through what? Because I realized, I said to them, listen, I realized from early, the minute I tell my friends and family what homeboy has done,
Yep.
when I've forgiven him, it's gonna take them a minute. Because I see him in a whole other way to what they see him.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. Like, so when people see, I'm like, y'all think 24 years was easy?
Right.
Let me tell you what 24 years was. It was one time when we went without speaking to each other for 3 months. We spoke through our kids. Like, don't play with me. So this is the thing. If you want these goals, are you ready to sleep in this bed?
Woo.
That part.
Girl.
And if you not, please look, I'm not, listen, I tell people all the time, I am not relationship goals for you. I am goals for myself because there were things that I put in myself that said, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what we want to reach. It was for us.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you, yo,
yeah. And you set yourself up for like
failure,
disappointment and failure when you look at somebody else and say, I need to have what you have the way that you had it, and you follow that formula and it doesn't work, and now you're like, you lied to me. It's like nobody promised you were gonna get the same results.
Right.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Come on, 24 years. You better speak the wisdom.
Right. And
people.
The bottom line is what expectation leads to disappointment. If you put all these unrealistic expectations, because now I'm trying to base my relationship off of your 24 years and I'm trying to, move like you, and I'm going to be disappointed because
every
my
time.
24 years is not going to look like your 24 years because that's not what my goal is. That's not what your goal is.
Right.
So
Every time.
I wholeheartedly know. Do not give relationship advice, especially somebody like me, because sometimes, like back in the day, I used to go back. Like I would have wholehearted conversations and I'd be like, I hear all of your concerns, but we're about to go get something to eat. So I'll call y'all back.
Right. Thank you for listening.
Thank
but
you.
we at the chicken spot, so I can't really talk right now.
Right.
So let me ask y'all this. If we aren't looking for people to be our relationship goals, we know like, okay, that ain't the move. Where do we go for support, as a single person?
Yes. See, now this is my thing. I don't, like I was saying, I think relationship goals you need to be careful with, but I also do think that there is a space where you can see relationships that are working. I don't think that you should not go to people who you see relationships are working, who are honest, who are open, and who are transparent about what it looks like to live, love, and be with someone. So I'm not saying that we shouldn't have people, because I believe that there is wisdom in the multitude of counsel. Like when you have good people who are walking things out, go to those people. But what I'm saying is, relationship goals for me is when we put people on a pedestal,
right,
and then we don't expect them to fall because we said, oh, actually you're great at this is your lane. But I think that if you see people who have a loving, working relationship, which means good, bad, and ugly, you see that, I think that those are the people that you can trust with to get advice from, to get support from, to be like, hey, this is what we're going through. Is there any way that we could just, share and maybe just go out and hang out? I think that those are the people that you would need to look for.
And I think you made a really good point. It's about building the relationship
Yes.
with the people who you see have a relationship that you want to emulate, or they have good communication, or you saw them have a disagreement and you like the way they handled it. You want to borrow their tools, not necessarily their relationship. But you can't do that with a total stranger who hasn't spent any time with you, doesn't know you well enough, that they don't really have a way to give you some good advice. So you made a really, really good point there. I love that you said that.
Yeah, no, that's actually very true, because the tools, you're able to pick the tools. It's not like you said, that's excellent. Like, you're able to, like you said, pick the tools. Like, I like the way you handled that, or I like the way when something happened, you pulled her aside to discuss, not in front of everyone, or like, I was just having this conversation not shortly before I even jumped on this, where it's like, I saw something that helped me kind of understand what I really wanted. And I talked about how my best friend, her husband, or husband, basically, because her husband, when I stayed there with them, I stayed there with them for the holidays, and I told them that I felt this sense of protection and just love that I had never experienced before. And it was so crazy, because it was in a way where, because of the way he loved her, and it spilled to everybody that was connected to her, that was around. And I'm like, okay, that's something that I need to look for in a partner. I need to make sure that whoever I'm with makes my friends feel like how I felt. And that's a tool. Like, you see that, like,
that's
whoa,
like
it's a tool. You got to pick these tools. I think the support, like you said, is going around people where you see it's working, that you're close to, that you can take these tools where it's not looking like, oh, she's hating on me, or it's any kind of shade. It's genuine, like.
And that's what I love. I love what you just said, because I think that is so beautiful, is like the fact that every tool you can use, everybody has gardens, but everybody's garden is different. Some have really big gardens, some have smaller gardens, but the tools for the gardens are all the same. But it's just how you use them in your garden. And so it is that space where, hey, I want great communication. Like, the way he communicates with her, the way he communicates through her to us is amazing. Or, you know what, it's just this, I want to be able to have intention. Like, I'm intentional about this person. Those are tools. And so you don't take your friends and put them on a pedestal. You'll just watch them like, wow, that is a beautiful relationship, that are using their ability and their love for one another to make sure that everyone around them knows and feels good, bad, and ugly. I think that is beautiful. I think that's absolutely beautiful. My God.
Right.
That's what we need in these streets.
I mean, just come on, good tools.
Good tools. Amen. Well, because we're talking about relationships and all. Let's talk about what's happening in these internet streets.
So much.
Well, seeing Will and Jada's relationship in the news more. And recently, Megan Good and her husband, Devon Franklin, filed for divorce. Are we no longer reading their book, The Wait, a powerful practice for finding the love of your life because of a failed marriage? Should Will and Jada keep their marriage to themselves, or can we learn something from them? Let's talk about it.
Oh, this is heavy, honey. Like, I don't even know where I want to start. Like,
right. I was like,
okay, so should we start with Will and Jada?
Let's start with Will and Jada.
Will and Jada. I think I got thoughts on that.
Like, I mean, because I feel like people put them on a pedestal for so long, and everybody wanted what Will and Jada had, and people made it. They were in songs I want. And I always feel like Will and Jada, with all of these revelations now and just everything that came out, they settled for each other. And that's not what I want.
Wow.
I don't want to settle for somebody and have to keep reminiscing about who got away, who died, who I used to be with, who I'm with now, who I'm like, no, like at this stage in the game, I'm an 80s baby. Like, I want to be old and in a diaper with whomever I'm gonna be with.
I can't.
I don't want you playing old videos of some girl that got away in '94 and you singing with them and still like, I don't know. I'm just like, Jada, just stop because you're embarrassing him. Like at this point, just stop talking. Like
their
just
phones.
Stop. Like, yeah, like take her phone and we'll like now it's just like these revelations that you're having, like it just looks desperate.
Okay.
It's very unfresh Prince of Bel-Air like.
I cannot with you and your whole life.
Right?
You are in timeout.
She's like, you're ruining the fantasy. You're ruining the fantasy.
This is not what Uncle Phil wanted for you. And like, I just want y'all to stop. Like, just turn your phones off, get off of social media, and figure out, because you're showing everyone basically you guys got married for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And you have kids.
Definitely. Yeah. And I hear that. But you know what? I'm almost happy that it's happening.
I think they are the dismantling of the relationship goals era. You're right.
I am happy that it's happening because it's like, good. Show people what the messy side looks like.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I was saying to someone the other day, I was like, I'm feeling, because I'm a Will Smith fan. Like, let's not get into it.
I love him.
That's my dude. There's times I love Jada because Low Down Diddy Shame is still one of my favorite films.
Right.
Ain't nothing but space and opportunity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but when I was watching this whole thing that happened however many years ago with her and the August boy, and it came out, they were doing the red table talk and stuff, and I was watching everything on social media. One of the things that hit me, though, that I think may be a bit controversial from my standpoint, is regardless of what they're dealing with and what they're going through, their ability to stay together is something that I don't think we have much of in this generation. Like, hear me out when I say this.
No, you're right.
They probably actually have what unconditional love really looks like.
Yeah.
I know it sounds it sounds weird, but when I look at them, I'm like, yo, people would have left for less than that.
Yeah.
He's sitting on a table looking like he about to break down and lose his whole life. Yeah. She's sitting across the table like, it was a situation.
Right.
And then they come out through this, and yet they're still finding their way to love each other because they've decided, I'm not going anywhere. I don't know. It might just be, I don't know. There's just something in it, and I'm happy that we're seeing it's not all roses. I'm happy that we're seeing the facade wasn't real. Yeah. But I'm also happy that and I know this sounds weird, I'm also happy that we're seeing two people who have gone through crazy things but still decide to choose each other. I get
what you're saying, because I think at the end of the day, what we're seeing with Will and Jada is, to me, a friendship. Like, above a romantic relationship, they are each other's truest friends.
Best friends.
And I think what they've decided is, I want to live out my life with you. And I think they're making a conscious decision to do it in a way that works best for them. It may or may not be as a marriage, but I think that they've decided we got each other for the rest of our lives. And that part of it is beautiful to see, because even when you think about friends, people don't stay friends with people, for less, like doing less. So it's like, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's just something about it. Now, I'm not saying it like I said, but that's why I said,
don't make them your goals if you don't want that.
Goals.
You're not about that life.
No. It's almost good to see the mess and watch it play out.
Yeah.
I feel like we needed it as a society. Like, we needed it.
But I do need them to maybe take their phones now.
No. We need to no.
Some of the stuff, I'm like, I don't even follow them about
I'm like, I can't. Like, I need to keep the bubble. I need to stop following y'all because y'all just talking too much and your PR is not good
at all. Ooh, talk about it.
That's
okay. So let's go ahead,
because It's
Go ahead.
strangers with, well, we're like friends now, but strangers with such different perspectives that just brings a different view to every, like, I love this.
That's why talking with strangers is a good
Right. This is so dope.
Listen, y'all gonna have me in the streets talking to people I don't know, and they're not gonna be as cool as y'all.
They're gonna be like, girl.
Strangers, girl.
They will not be as cool as y'all.
Okay, so
All right, now let's get on
this.
Megan.
Okay, so Megan and her husband Devon. Are we no longer reading the book The Wait? Like literally, I had a meme show up the other day.
It's behind me.
My husband sent me, and it was like this person was like, "What am I going to do with this now?" And it was the book. Do we think that we should not like read it, like because their marriage has failed? How do you feel about that?
I mean, no, I think the book is still viable. I have the book. I've never read it though. I will say it's on my bookcase for a long time. Never actually read it. But I mean, I don't think that it makes the advice invalid just because the relationship didn't run a lifetime course. Like the book could still have some good principles in it, could still have some good, things that you can do in a relationship. We don't have privy to why the relationship ended. So we can't say the book's principles didn't work. They could have literally broke up because she decided she wanted to move to Zimbabwe and he didn't want to go. We don't know why.
Or it could have been Harlem.
Well,
it's a cute show, but I mean,
do you think so? I'm not. Anyway, this is another conversation.
It was interesting timing. It was interesting.
There was some questionable scenes where I was just like, I mean, I understand everything comes with the business, but I don't know how I would feel about my husband and his junk in front of somebody's face.
Okay.
But I don't think it renders the book invalid.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, no. I mean, I wasn't.
I don't think
I wasn't going to read the book
either, and I think that's a space. Yeah, I cannot wait. No, what is? Someone coming.
So I was just kind of like, okay, Megan, girl, like, because she's our age.
Yeah,
she's an '80s baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's she's from Cousin Skeeter. We grew up with her,
right? I'm just like, go ahead, girl. Like, ladies is in their 40s working on their divorces, and I'm just like,
I'm just trying to get,
to get married.
We just trying to be able to say we can get divorced.
Listen, I would like the option to divorce.
To divorce you? Can you be here so
can I be in a conversation and start talking to people with my hand like
exactly.
What?
Exactly.
Let me fix my camera.
These two get me on my nerves. Get off my I can't even talk to y'all. Y'all are crazy. But no, I love that. And I think it's something that even like when we were speaking before, I think it's something that we have to look at the advice and what they're giving us and making sure that we are putting people in the right place, like we're putting them with the right perspective and the right paradigm, and we're not putting them in spaces where if they fall, our lives fall apart. It makes
I mean, so many people were just like devastated by them getting divorced. They were like the church doesn't work anymore. I don't even believe in God.
God now don't work.
Yeah, it was getting
Megan
serious.
Good and Devon Franklin was your one connection to the Lord. We already had a problem.
Right, like
that's all you had keeping you.
Y'all better get more righter with the Lord. I don't know what that's about.
I mean, I was reading people's comments and I was like, y'all are not well. You're just not well.
You said y'all not well. Something wrong with y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is I just think I don't know. We gonna move on.
So here we go.
Let's get it.
Is this generation giving up on marriage, or do we still believe that it's possible? So I want to hear from 24, Miss Adwoa.
I think it's half and half. I think the greatest thing is I have a 25-year-old daughter, and she's getting married in August. Yes. So I'm about to be a mother of the bride type situation. And it's very interesting because my kids all have this mindset of what marriage is, and they're very much like they want to be married. But I think when we have these unrealistic goals, that's when I think kids are taking marriage out of context. And so I think that there are some that still believe marriage is amazing because, it's just like they're seeing it. But then I also believe that there are some that are just kind of like, if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. I'm good. But I think that those unrealistic goals and those unrealistic expectations are what are popping people's marriage bubbles. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of like, nah.
Yeah, I felt like I was given into like the whole toxicity thing. And at first I was like, I don't care if I get married and blah, blah, blah. I care. I do want to get married.
I love
I
that.
do. Yeah, I do want to get married. And I do believe it's possible.
I will say,
no, like, people just I think a lot of the issue, like coming from 80s babies again, is people put age and time and they start to panic. And when they start to panic, they start to make sure that everyone around them is panicking just the same way that they're panicking. And it's like, oh my God, you're 40, you're not married, you don't have any kids. Oh my God. And it's like, no, it's not. It wasn't in God's plan for me to have a baby right now. I was barely making it with the dog. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta make sure. Listen, I gotta make sure that this dog lives under
I feel like
me
you're
within 2
strumming my
years.
pain
I
with your
gotta make
fingers.
sure. So it's like, let's go. But marriage, yes, I do want to get married. I'm not gonna wear a white dress because we're not gonna go there. But I want a ceremony, and I want to get married in front of all of my friends and family and have a party and eat vegan hors d'oeuvres. Yes, it's possible.
I love
We just
it.
we gotta walk away from our expectations and give it to God.
Yes. I will say that the change in the way people talk about marriage, I grew up and probably until my late 20s, I never wanted to get married. I was not interested in being married. I was like, if I get married, I'm gonna be 45. Like, I always knew I would be older when I got married. Just wasn't interested. For me, what made me want to get married is people being honest about it. It always felt like a fairy tale to me. Like, this is something about this is fishy. I'm not buying that everybody is just blissfully in love all the time. I was not buying it. And for me, it was hearing my friends talk real about their relationships and being like, no, marriage is work. It's the wedding is fun, but on the other side of it, like, it's real intentional. You've got to choose each other every day. And for me, that made me feel like, okay, I'm not crazy. People really have to put in the work to be in a marriage. And I'm like, I'm willing to do that work now that I know it exists on the other side of a beautiful way.
I love that. I think that is so amazing because I think, just like what both of you have said, just the ability, and I think that's what people are looking for nowadays anyway, is authenticity. They're looking for the authentic. They're like, okay, is it authentic? Like, what is real about this thing? And I think that because for so long we put up this facade of what marriage was, and it's like, no, actually it's not that. Like, and we're putting up this major facade, and there's so many kids who lived behind the door and saw when that door closed how crazy that marriage really was. And it's like, I don't want that. But I think that, like you were saying, Whitney, and even like what you were saying, Kwasi, that when we've been able to see what the real looks like, it's like, oh, okay,
that's doable.
You've given me normal. Like, you give me the tools to be able to make an informed decision. Like, actually, like what you were saying, Whitney, I choose you every day. And that's what I was saying some of the day. I said, my marriage works because every morning we wake up, we choose each other.
Yeah.
I could choose someone else if I wanted to, but I choose you, which means I choose to work on what needs to be worked on so that this thing works. And so I think that that's absolutely beautiful. And I love the fact that you both are like, yeah, I want to get married. Like when it happens, it happens. I'm not rushing it. I'm not allowing this imaginary clock to move me and tell me all the imaginary clock in my people and my family and my friends' mind, like, bump that, move. You know what I'm saying? Because
because even saying that used to be taboo. You couldn't even say you actually wanted to be married. It's like, oh, you look desperate. Don't say you want to get married, because then nobody's gonna want to marry you. It's like, well, how do they know I want to get married if I can't tell them?
There were so many rules. Like if you wore red lipstick, you weren't getting married. It
Oh
was
my
God!
God.
My grandmother was serious.
Do you know my
with that.
grandmother? Are they friends?
I think she knows my grandma.
Red lipstick and red nail polish was like
girl,
no, and I
she was
didn't wear it
Jezebel.
until
That's what you was. You was
Girl.
a Jezebel.
And don't have on an ankle bracelet too, girl. You
don't have a tattoo now. Don't have a tattoo at it somewhere around here. Don't have a tattoo now, girl. You go straight to hell. Ain't no man calling you.
No, the red nails and red lipstick. That's like a streetwalker. And you're like, I just like the color red.
Right. It's like, it's a nice color. I mean, it looks great on my skin.
Right. The complexion, the hue. It's wonderful.
Look at the trauma. It's coming again.
Coming out. Ladies, I love y'all. Like, for real. We are strangers no more.
Right.
We are strangers no
more. Like, I feel like I know y'all. When y'all see me on the internet, so don't act like we didn't have this conversation.
We family now. You can't get rid of me.
I'm gonna be commenting on your stuff like I was at the family barbecue last summer.
I was there.
I'm gonna be there this summer. Y'all better holler at me. Y'all better be like, Adwoa, it's the barbecue. I'm coming.
Right. No, like the wedding is gonna be here. Make sure
we're coming to. Oh, we have to come to your wedding now. We've talked about
got you.
Yeah, now y'all have to come.
You better be careful. I'm not a bridesmaid.
Right, Siobhan will be there. Listen. Then you're gonna see us in our prime. I don't know.